If you were like me, you may have thought you could remove the isolator bar of the manifold without removing the tank bands. This is incorrect, as the threaded spindle is rigid and fits into the orifice on each tank valve simultaneously. Making sure the tanks are on a flat, even surface, the first thing is to confirm the distance center to center of the tank valves. This is critical for tightening the crossover bar when replacing it. Secondly, mark the position of the bands using a felt marker for correct locating when replacing them. Then, using 2 half-inch wrenches, release the nuts of the band straps to loosen the bands sufficiently to slide them off the bottom of the tanks. Once the bands are removed, using a 7/8" wrench to loosen off the jam nuts from where the crossbar threads into the tank valve. This releases the crossover bar to rotate and uncouple from the tank valves. Then start rotating the crossover bar while gently adjusting the distance between tanks to allow for the spread of the valves. This may require several iterations until you are able to remove it from between the tank valves. This completes the process of removing the manifold and dismantling the system to distinct parts in preparation for inspection, testing, or other maintenance. The next exercise is reconnecting the manifold and tank bands. It's tricky reinstalling the crossover bar. It's critical that both the alignment and level of the tank valves is relatively precise to permit the threads of both ends of the bar to catch at the same time. Inserting a cloth or small wedges on the outsides of the tanks prevents them from rolling outwards, while some inward pressure must be applied to both the tank turn wheels in order for the thread of the crossover bar to catch simultaneously. It may take several attempts. Check the distance between tank valves to confirm against the original measurement. This determines the extent of the insert of crossover bar to tank valves. If installing for the first time, consult the tank band manufacturer's specification. If you feel any resistance while rotating the crossbar, stop and start over. Do not try to force it. Loosely rotate the jam nuts close to the contact point of the crossbar with the tank valves. Then reattach the tank bands, starting with the upper band, sliding it up the tank, being careful to avoid twisting or bending of the crossover bar, particularly if you have to lift the tanks, and aligning the band with the marks on the tanks indicating their original position. Once the upper band is in place, adjusting the alignment of the tanks accordingly, the lower band is simpler to slide onto the tanks while lying flat. Locating these similarly according to the marks scored on the tanks previously. Once again, confirm the correct distance between centres of the tank valves. Tighten nuts on the tank bands and jam nuts to the valve contact surface, and this completes the reinstallation of the twin set manifold. A leak test is recommended before putting into service.